Hi guys, this is Stefan, poker coach and founder of BecomeAnOnlinePokerPro.com. Welcome back to episode 14 of the Bankroll building experiment. If you don't know, the Bankroll building experiment is the YouTube series where I abandon the games I usually play at No Limit 100 and No Limit 200 to show you guys exactly what it takes to build a bankroll from scratch in 2013. And I'm back here with the same tables as in episode 13. 4 tables of No Limit 25 action for you guys. So hopefully we can win some stacks. Now this situation with the ace 8, I think we can squeeze in this spot and make a profit. The cutoff is likely opening a very wide range, and the button is a very fishy guy. He's playing 57-0 and he's folding a lot to c-bets. So what is likely to happen when we do re-raise in that situation is that the original raise of the cutoff is going to fold a lot, and the fish is going to call a lot, and then the fish is going to fold to our c-bet a lot. Or sometimes they both just fold straight up pre-flop, which is also a great situation for us. So hope you guys can kind of see my reasoning for that play. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. Could raise here with the ace 10 on table 2, but because I don't really have any dynamic with this guy, I'm just going to opt for calling instead. And check folding on table 1 after we just tried to steal with the 10-5, expecting him to fold too much in this situation, and now where he does end up calling, this is not really a flop I wanna mess about on. And here on table 1, I think this guy is likely to be calling the flop with a lot of ace highs that he's folding this turn. So I think betting again there is mandatory. Now the reasoning that you might remember from the latest video, that I said against people who have a very high fold to c-bet that you shouldn't really bet. Oh, seems like we lost connection. Well, I'll just go ahead and try and explain my point while trying to get my internet back up and running. You guys might have remembered that I told you that against people who fold a lot to c-bets, you don't really want to what the heck? Sorry about this, guys. Oh, we're back. Seems like we won the ace 10 hand. I would have bet the river if we had the chance. That you shouldn't really bet the turn again, but these boards are actually very different. The board in video 1 was ace 4-4, I believe, and this was 9-9-2. The thing is, on paired boards, even people who fold a lot to c-bets are going to call them once with ace high. So because there was an ace on the flop from episode 13, the ace highs that he's usually calling that we can fold out by betting on the turn again, they now have top pair. So they're obviously never folding, whereas on this board, on the 9-9-2, his ace highs are always folding to our second bet on the turn. So I hope you can kind of see the difference there. I'm sorry about the internet just cutting out. That might have made that explanation harder to understand, but I really hope you get my point. If not, please just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to elaborate. Water. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. 3-2. Don't really want to raise that up. But now when we do hit the bottom pair and then open in a straight draw, definitely think this is a bet. And if he's calling, we're going to bet like turn and river as well. Just because I don't really think he really has a strong hand when he's just limping in pre-flop, especially not playing that tightly, he's most definitely raising his larger pairs, so the only real hand that I could see him fighting back with is like a flopped set of 5s or flop set of 4s. I don't even think he's calling 6-7 pre-flop. And here with the 10s against the short stack, this is an easy call. He's just going to be shoving a lot of ace jack, ace queen, ace and lower pairs as well. And with the money already in the pot, he's showing 10 jack in that situation. So 10s is definitely an easy call in that spot. When you have guys in the big blind who are shoving a lot over your small blind raises, what you need to do is make is stop raising as much, because you won't really be able to call that all in a lot. So you want to open a tighter range, or you want to make all of your raises smaller, or maybe even both. In this situation I decided to make it a bit larger than usual, and that's kind of like, that's an adjustment I made just because I had a strong hand against someone who I assumed to be a weak player. That's really not something you should do all the time, adjusting your sizing depending on who you're playing, but I find that in small blind against big blind I think I can get away with it a lot. I don't really think people are noticing it, and that guy definitely didn't notice, because I have been stealing. I'm going to limp in here. I have been stealing with the minimum raise, and now I decided to make it 3x, and he still decided to shove with 10 jack. So in that situation, you know, that adjustment was definitely fine. We're going to bet full pot on table 2 in this limp pot. We have a pair and we have a backdoor flush draw, so I think this is a pretty mandatory bet. Now I don't really know anything about this guy who called up here, except that he limped in to start with and he's not sitting with a full stack. So I'm assuming he's a weak player, and I don't think a weak player is going to fold any flush draw on this turn, any 10 or even any king, so I don't really see the point in continuing a bluff here against this guy. You know, usually against regulars or players who we know usually have reasonable stats, we can kind of assume that they're not going to be limping it with strong kings or strong 10s. But against a complete unknown who looks very fishy, I just can't assume that he doesn't have a king here. So continuing our bluff is not going to be profitable, and some of the time our flush draw is not going to be good. So I don't really like check calling either, so I think just giving up when he does decide to call is fine. Yeah, now he minimum 3 bets on table 2, so he's definitely a very bad player. And whenever somebody minimum 3 bets you, you can call with your entire range, unless they have an insanely small stack. Just trying to hit anything. Like this board is great for us. We have an open-ended straight draw, and this guy is very likely to pay us off if we do hit our hand. So this is definitely a situation where we can go ahead and call once and try to hit. And now when the board pairs on the turn, this is not really a great situation for us, because he might have a full house now, and so our straight might be counterfeited, and he might even have a flush now as well. So I don't really want to get check raised on this turn, so I'm just going to check it back and hope that we hit something. I don't really like bluffing this river at all now, because I think even if he has ace high, some of the time he's going to call just because he figures he has 2 pair, and so he's not going to be folding anything. So on this river I think the best play is just to be folding. But we did get in a great situation there. We got to see our open-ended straight draw. We got to see 5 cards against a player who likely has a very strong range. So you know, him making it so small in that situation is just basically allowing us to get every opportunity to suck out on him. And because he's a bad player, he's not going to be able to get away from aces in that situation if we do hit like our 8 or our queen 4 straight. So overall that was a very profitable situation. With the 4 deuce on table 3, I'm going to open raise if it's folded to us, just because I can just show you the stats that I'm looking at. Because his fold the big blind when the small blind is stealing is like 86%. That's insane. That's so high. Whenever this stat is above 65, you can open raise any 2 cards and expect it to show a profit. But like 86, that's just completely crazy. So definitely any 2 cards against this guy if it's folded to us in a small blind and he's in the big blind. More water. I'm so thirsty right now. I guess it's probably fine for me to get some water before soccer practice in like an hour and a half. I hope the easy call on table 4 with top 2 against this one fish, and then, you know, this guy behind just calling twice. I'm pretty sure he would have 3-bet if he had the ace king. So I think if we're beat here, he has a set of 3s, and I don't think he has that a lot. At the same time, I don't really know if he's going to be calling on the river here with ace queen a lot. I don't think we can make it very big either way. I think like making it 8 is going to be fine. I think we have to fold to a raise here. Yeah, I just don't see him ever shoving here with a hand that we beat. Like, I think best case scenario up here, we are splitting with ace 10. Like we're getting such a great price for calling, but you know, I don't think we're good often enough here. He might even have slow played ace king just because of the fish in the big blind. Perhaps he was hoping that he would shove pre-flop and we would be in a net. I'm just going to fold this hand. Oh, it really sucks though. And he did have the set of 3s. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense for him to shove any anything that we beat in that situation. And now it would be completely different if he wasn't a regular. Like, he's playing 29-23, so it's pretty easy to see that he knows what he's doing. He has a high steal percentage, so he's definitely aware of position. And I just don't think he's going to overvalue a hand like ace queen in that situation. And it's such a bad spot for him to bluff, because, you know, we called the raise on the flop, so obviously we have something, and we continued bluffing on the turn even. So it's very obvious for anyone who has a clue about poker that we do have a hand in this situation. And bluffing by shoving over a river bet when there's only so little left in my stack, like, he can't be expecting a fold ever. So it's pretty obvious that he has a value hand and he's not bluffing. And if he's not bluffing, I don't think he's calling ace 3 there pre-flop. So I don't think he has a weaker I don't think he has a weaker 2 pair. So yeah, I think definitely correct fold in that situation. The thing about betting the river instead of checking is because if he does have a hand like ace queen, I don't really want him to be able to check it back on the river. I want him to have to call that. And when I am making my bet smaller, I'm also giving myself I'm just going to fold while I'm explaining this. I'm also giving myself a cheaper price when I do end up folding. Let's say I check to him and he bets. Now he might be betting like 12 on this river, and you know, if I were to call 12, maybe he doesn't even bet ace queen. Maybe he only bets when he has a set of threes. So I'd be losing more to his hands that are beating me, and I'd be winning less from the hands that I beat, like his ace queen or his ace jack. But when I do end up, I'm just gonna try and steal this, but when I do end up being against ace queen and I bet smaller, I win more from his ace queen because he's calling in the 8, and I lose less against the hands that beat me, because when he shoves now I'm not going to call. So my river bet in that situation has two purposes. I'm losing less against the hands that beat me, and I'm winning more against the hands that I beat, compared to just checking and deciding if I want to call or not. I really hope I explained that clearly. Please let me know if you want me to go over that again or in another video. I'd be happy to. Queen here is just a 3-bet over this isolation. I'm going to make a small c-bet on table 2 just because we do have the we are playing against a very short stack, and half pot is going to be more than fine. This board texture is not really that great. If he really wants to get all in on this spot, you know, jacks that we beat are now beating us, and tens that we beat are now beating us. And I don't really know if queens are just likely to shove in, and if he was slow playing like ace queen or ace queen. I think checking now is going to be fine. I think if he does have just a single jack, I don't really think he's likely to be bluffing or betting the turn. I don't think he's likely to be betting the turn because he's probably worried that I have queens, kings or aces. And now on this river I don't really think, let's say he does have ace king, ace queen, I don't think he's betting those hands a lot. So like, I just don't think he has a weaker hand than me often here. I think if he does have ace king, ace queen, there's absolutely no reason for him to bluff it in this spot. Yeah, I just don't think he has a weak enough hand. I think we're beat there very often, the way that that hand played out. It was different, you know, if I'd been 3-betting on this table like a complete maniac, and he would know that, then I would assume that he would call more hands pre-flop, and so the amount of hands that would be single jacks on the turn would be higher, and the amount that would be straight draws would be higher, so I would be betting again on the turn, you know, to get value from his weaker jacks and from his straight draws that decide they're not going to fold to me this time. But when it's my first time 3-betting him, oh, I'm gonna hit the time button, I just I don't really see him defending a lot of weaker jacks or having a lot of straight draws. Over here we get raised in this spot. I can't remember what happened pre-flop, but I can see this guy has not raised me even once, and he has a very low 1-1 saw flop, which is that statistic you can see in my HUD here. 1-1 saw flop, it's basically a stat that is telling you how likely a player is to be fighting for pots. And when he's not very likely to be fighting for pots, and he hasn't raised me once before at all, then I don't think it's very likely that he's the type of player who's raising weak top pairs or just random bluffs. And if he's not raising weak top pairs or random bluffs, then it doesn't really matter at all that I have top pair, because I'm not beating anything that he's raising. So checking out those two stats allow me to make a very tight fold against the guy. This is like the third 3-bet he's made against me on this table. He is really not 3-betting a lot. Maybe it's only against me. I'm going to fold once more against him. And then I'm probably going to be looking to either calling him with my suited broadways and my 9s plus, or I'm going to be looking to 4-bet if I have like just a weak ace with the ace blocker. Because the fact that I have like an ace in my hand already makes it less likely that he has a hand that's strong enough to fight back. Just because the fact that I have an ace in my hand reduces the amount of combinations of ace king, ace queen, or aces that he can have, which is a large part of the range that is going to be fighting back against my 4-bet. Oh, we've gone for another 20 minutes already. I guess time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cut the video off here. If you like this video, please hit the like button below, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out a lot. Lets me know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing, recording these videos for you. Make sure to check up on my website, becomeanonlinepokerpro.com. There'll be a link down below in the description. I upload my results, even on the days that I'm not having a new video recorded for you guys. I'm still updating with my newest results on the website, so remember to go check that out. And as always, if you had any questions at all, any comments, please leave them down below. I'll make sure to read and answer anything and everything, so please do that. And yeah, have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.